Let's talk about how Jimmy Garoppolo got better these past games. And to do that, let's start from the beginning. What I mean by the beginning of the season, where you create an offense based on the fact that you have as a quarterback Trey Lance, your running back Elijah Mitchell, the backup running back Jeff Wilson Jr. You knew it that at that moment you will give some run plays for Debo Samuel. We know what happened. Trey Lance goes down, Mitchell goes down, and then you are left with Jimmy Garoppolo as your quarterback, Jeff Wilson Jr. as your backup quarterback. And at that moment, the entire offense needed to be changed. You press the reset button and you start creating a new offense for Jimmy Garoppolo, Jeff Wilson Jr., and the other weapons that you have around Debo Samuel. At the moment, we brought back Tevin Coleman, which, by the way, he played absolutely amazing in the game that he was brought back. Then, obviously, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, so on and so forth. We all knew that Jimmy Garoppolo was not in football shape. He even mentioned that he had fatigue in his arm, in his throwing arm. Now, that might be an excuse for Jimmy Garoppolo, but not for Kyle Shanahan and how you call the plays. Even if you already changed the entire offense due to the fact that you don't have Trey Lance and Elijah Mitchell. Now comes the other factor. Jimmy Garoppolo publicly asked for an open book, more plays, more throwing plays. And we know now that that didn't work. That didn't work neither for Jimmy Garoppolo, for Kyle Shanahan, or for the entire team. That is not the winning formula for the 49ers. In that process, you are bringing Christian McCaffrey. Now, why Christian McCaffrey? And I will put it this way. Kyle Shanahan and Mike Shanahan, they are known for running um, um, zone scheme block for the running game. And they're very good. They're not known for a power type of running scheme. And they didn't have the personnel to run that type of blocking scheme. They bring Christian McCaffrey, which makes a lot of sense if you want to continue implementing the zone blocking scheme. Well, Christian McCaffrey is one of the best running backs in that type of offense. Not to say that Jeff Wilson Jr. cannot do it, but he's more suitable to run between the tackles and more in a power type of running game. Now you have also Debo Samuel that they can run those plays, but we saw that Debo Samuel was not as effective as he was in last year. So that makes a lot of sense why you bring Christian McCaffrey to this offense. We saw how Jimmy Garoppolo struggled so much when he was throwing a lot of passes during the games. So it makes sense that you are bringing Christian McCaffrey, trying to mix it up a little bit between running outside the tackles and running inside the tackles. But when Kyle Shanahan tried to force into a more happy pass offense for the 49ers, it didn't work. Now, there's another big factor there. When you are implementing a happy pass, well, you need to have a lot of places in position. And game after game after game, we were having a lot of pressure from the right side. The combination of Spencer Buford and Brownskill on the right guard, they were having a lot of problems. Now they're more stabilized and they're providing decent protection in the passing game to Jimmy Garoppolo. But the right tackle, Mike McGlinchey, he's been struggling whole year. So when you have a happy pass offense and you one of your tackles is not good, you are going to have constant pressure from the other teams. Also, if you are trying to implement and running outside the tackles, your tackles, they must be very good at pulling in the running game, which on the left side we have one of the best, if not the best, tackle in the game in Trent Williams, but on the other side, it's not happening. Every single time that the 49ers run to the right side, they got stopped. So makes you unidirectional. Now, Kyle Shanahan needed to do something. And for me, he tried to simplify the offense, running between the tackles, stretching the field with short passes to the sidelines as a type of running scheme, and try to open the defense of the opposite teams. That simplification of the offense, it had a huge impact in Jimmy Garoppolo. We've seen him playing better in these last games, and most likely is because Kyle Shanahan, he needed to simplify the offense to make it work. After reset the whole offense at the beginning of the season, then try to implement a more passing game because you don't have the correct personnel to run a wide scheme in the running game. Well, we saw what happened. In the offense, it was struggling and it continues struggling, but it looks way much better now. I'm guessing that farther along the season, we will see another evolution of this offense. Now that you have back Elijah Mitchell, that you have Christian McCaffrey, that you have a healthier Deebo Samuel, probably Kyle Shanahan will start mixing some power running and some running outside the tackles, along with short passes to the sidelines to open the space for the offense. So even if we try to find one reason of why Kyle Shanahan become so mellow vanilla in this offense, we can see that the process of having the right personnel, along with injuries, along with not your backup quarterback to be ready to play immediately, it affects so many ways this offense that they haven't found their rhythm or their identity this season. Other factor very important, it is Trent Williams went down a couple of games. So now that you were a team that were only running to the left side and you don't have your best blocking tackle, well, that affect incredible much to this offense. Not only in the passing game, but in the running game, which is even more important. With this new, probably simplified offense from Kyle Shanahan, we've seen better throws from Jimmy Garoppolo. Besides, probably he is now in a better shape than before. I mean, talking about football shape. Here, his arm probably he's getting stronger. He's not the arm is not getting fatigued as it was in the beginning of the season. So hoping all these process and problems that this office passed the first part of the season, they will continue getting better and improve not only Jimmy Garoppolo as a quarterback, but also Kyle Shanahan mixing the plays and giving a different dimension to this offense. Like I said in previous episodes, this offense, I haven't seen this offense firing in all cylinders. What I mean by that is a couple of wide receivers plus 50 yards in a game, plus George Kittle having a couple of passes, your running game, a couple of players over 50, 60 yards. I haven't seen that this year. And probably down the road, we will see more uh, players getting involved as we add more plays to this simplified offense. That the addition of Christian McCaffrey will play now a major role in adding some plays to this offense. And now it start making more sense why the 49ers they trade for Christian McCaffrey. Now, in the case of Jeff Wilson Jr. and Elijah Mitchell, it was so sad to see Jeff Wilson Jr. go because he's a player that you can put it in any case. You can run him through between the tackles, and also you can run outside the tackles. Elijah Mitchell, it is a powerful running back that also he can do both things. But if one of them goes down, then you start all over again, having the problems, not having the correct personnel to run all the plays that you want. So we will see how this offense evolves in the rest of the season. But I want to see more creativity. I want to see more mixing the schemes in the running game for the 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo, he's doing his part. I mean, we know all the limitations, all the problems that comes with having a quarterback like Jimmy Garoppolo. We understand that he's been with us for 5 seasons, so we understand what are his limitations, how he plays better, and by the fact that before he called Kyle Shanahan for an open book regarding the plays, that is not going to work. And at the beginning, when Kyle Shanahan tried to simplify the offense, we saw the frustration from Jimmy Garoppolo in the middle of the game saying that your play sucks, man, to Kyle Shanahan. But I do believe that it was the reflect of not having the correct weapons and having a lot of problems running the ball between the tackles and outside the tackles. A happy pass offense for the 49ers is not going to work unless we have a more capable quarterback. That is the reality. So let me know what you think about this simplified offense from Jimmy Garoppolo, and there is a direct correlation with the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo has gotten better these past games. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe, and like always, see you in the next one.